Dive and explain. Yo, what's going on everybody? Thank you so much for joining in. Today, I'm going to do a new video that I have not done yet here on the channel. You know, I've been on this booktube journey now for about 5 or 6 months. And one video I have not done just yet is a book haul or book unboxing. And you know, I've been saving up boxes now from the Broken Binding team for like 6 months. So I think it's time to finally get into some of these boxes, open them up, and see what is inside. Also, I have some books from Kickstarter campaigns and some from authors themselves, so I'm really excited to walk through some of these books that I've got in the past few months. So if you're ready to dive into these books, let's get into it. Alright, so I just counted them all up. It looks like we have 30 books that I want to talk about today. These are not all the books I've received over the past few months, just some that I'm going to highlight for you right now. And the first one that I want to talk about was one that is actually on the thumbnail of this video, being a Kickstarter campaign by Zach Argyle, with this being the Threadlight Omnibus. And holy cow, this is probably one of the most beautiful books I have ever seen. Like, it just glistens in the sunlight right here. I don't know if you can see that, but it just shines. It just looks so freaking good. Also has sprayed edges on the sides, you know, top and bottom, and of course on the side as well. And it just looks freaking stunning here. And we have some nice artwork inside as well. Very, very pretty. And it's even signed by Zach himself, which is super amazing to see. So again, this covers 3 of his books. So there's 3 books inside this omnibus, and it just looks freaking epic. It just looks like something like a king would have on his bedside table. It just looks that freaking awesome. Just the way it glistens in the sunlight, man, it just looks so good on the bookshelf as well. So that is one of my first Kickstarters that I got this year. Book number 1 is a showstopper right here. Threadlight Omnibus by Zach Argyle. Alright, let's just get into one of these boxes real quick. So we have a Amazon box. I'm pretty sure I know exactly what this is, but you know, it's been a freaking while since I ordered it. So let's check it out. All right, here we have a book by James J. Butcher, not Jim Butcher, with this being Long Past Dues, which is the second book in his Dead Man's Hand series. I'm sorry, it's not called the Dead Man's Hand series. That's the first book's name. The series is called The Unorthodox Chronicles. And I do remember really enjoying book number 1. So I'm really excited to dive into book number 2 here because I had a fun time. I also think it's just so freaking cool how James Butcher is like the son of Jim Butcher, the Dresden Files. I love the Dresden Files, and this is just another example of urban fantasy that I really enjoy. So I can't wait to dive into this one in a little bit. So book number 2, Long Past Dues. Alright, let's get into some broken binding boxes. I do not know which one is what. I know the majority of these are going to be the subscription, you know, books themselves, but I did purchase one outside of their monthly subscription, but I don't know which box is what. So we're going to open up the first one that's closest to me, with that one being right here. Alright, Broken Binding, box number 1. And as you guys would expect of Broken Binding, they freaking pack these books super amazingly. Just look how thick that packing material is right there. Boom. Wow. Okay, how do you say this word right here? Thawed, cold, hold.
What?
I probably said that so incorrectly, and I apologize for that. But Shackled Fates, part 2 of the Hanged God trilogy. And wow, this book is just stunning. I also really like how the font on the front here, it just shines, or the text. We have these really cool sprayed edges right here with this tree, with the roots kind of going down and the tree leaves up top. It looks really cool. And this guy right here in the very front looks like he's been through some crap. So he is bloodied up pretty bad. Also, with Broken Binding, you can always expect a freaking amazing artwork inside of it too. Just look at that. Pretty dang awesome. Look at the in artwork as well. That's just stunning. Fantastic image right there. And completely forgot that they have these foiled sides to the actual naked book as well. So that looks freaking awesome here. And I super apologize again. I just realized that this is the author's name. I could not pronounce that. So I'm sorry about that. But Shackled Fates, the book looks stunning. Book number 3? Yeah, book number 3 so far. Alright, moving on to the next book. It's actually another Kickstarter campaign that I purchased a couple months ago, coming from Tim Hawken, with that being the special edition of a book called Thrill Switch. This is one that I did read on my Kindle, and I really enjoyed it. So when his Kickstarter came out, I said, you know what, I want to back that. And now I have the book here, and it has a very cool, cyberpunk looking type of feel to it, because it is a cyberpunk thriller, which I really enjoy that genre. So I wanted to have the book as well on my shelf, so now I do. And yeah, I really recommend this book as well. I had a really fun time reading it, and I have a review actually of the prequel novella that you can read before reading this one on my blog. So if you want to go check that out, it's available right now. So that's book number 4, Thrill Switch by Tim Hawken. This is the special edition that I think you can actually purchase today on Amazon. But the next book is actually part of a series that the author actually sent me all 3 of them, with that being the Songs of Chaos series by Michael R. Miller. With this being book number 3, Defiance, I have the other 2 on my shelf right behind me. But I did read Ascendant, which is book number 1, and I had a really fun time. I even interviewed with Michael R. Miller as well, so you can go find that on the channel after finishing this video. But he sent me all 3 of them. All these hardcover editions look freaking stunning. So I'm really appreciative of him and his team sending me all 3 of these books. They look fantastic. Alright, the next book came from another author named Devin Erickson with his, I'm pretty sure it's his debut novel here, Theft of Fire, which is clearly a sci-fi inspired book here. Prometheus didn't finish the job. So that is pretty ominous right there. But I've seen some crazy news around this book recently about it being super hyped up, super well reviewed, and a lot of people are just really enjoying it. So I'm actually going to read this here very soon and talk about it on the channel in the not so distant future. I'm pretty sure in March I'm going to read this book right here. But thank you again, Devin, for sending me this book. It looks fantastic. I'm excited to dive into it and talk about it here pretty soon. That's book number 6 so far in our list. We have a few more to go. Actually, more than a few, so let's keep going. All right, the next book is going to come from an indie author named T.A. Bruno, and he actually sent me 2 books. One is called In the Orbit of Sirens, and the other one is called Down, Below, Beyond, which has a freaking amazing looking cover. It looks stunning here in this naked hardback edition as well. And I'm really excited about this because I heard some really good things about this series and the author as well. And I'm pretty sure this is just a standalone sci-fi book that has lots of fun adventures inside of it, so I'm excited. Look at that. I didn't even notice this was in here. We have a little card, and it looks like we have a map, possibly, of the web in this world, in this series, in this book. So thank you again so much, T.A. Bruno, for sending me these books, because I'm excited. I'm excited to read them, and I'm so sorry if I'm saying the word excited too much. Maybe this would be a good video to do a shot game in terms of every time I say the word excited, you take a shot. I don't know though, because you might be on the floor after this video, because there's still a few more books to go for sure. But this is the next book I have on this list, and that is book number 7, Down, Below, Beyond. All right, let's open up another broken binding box right here. We have a few more, so let's open up another one. Okay, here we go. We have a bookmark, and it looks like this is going to be in the Powder Mage series. Ooh, here we go, boy. Promise of Blood by Brian McKellen. Yeah, this looks stunning. I actually have the paperback edition of this already, and I have not read it just yet. All I know is this looks stunning here. We have this really cool sprayed edge right here. You can see that we have some charging horses right there. And inside, we have this very nice illustration of this guy that looks like he's just contemplating life right there on the steps of some sort of crazy looking place. I didn't know we had this, but we even have some more illustrations on the actual hardcover itself. It looks like this guy is looking at a guillotine. You see that? Look at that. But I am excited to read this book for sure. It looks fantastic, and I'm pretty sure that we're going to have the other 2 in the series in these boxes somewhere. But that's Promise of Blood, book number 8, 9? How did I already forget that? I don't know. That's the next book, Promise of Blood. All right, the next one's going to come from another author who sent this to me a couple weeks ago, with that being Rinia, which is Luna Ruinem, 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 volume number 1, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be a 9-book series, which is a lot of books. But this is by Carl Forshaw, who sent this to me not that long ago. I'm actually going to do a buddy read for this book in March, starting March 15th. So maybe you can come join me. Join me while I'm reading this book. I've heard some amazing things about it. So yeah, come to the Page Turners Discord, join the buddy read, and you might actually win a free copy of the paperback edition of this book because the author is offering 30 free copies of this book for whoever joins into that buddy read. So by the time you join it, it might all be taken up, but why don't you go try it out right now? Go see if you can go collect a copy of this book and join me in a read starting March 15th. All right, the next book is going to come from John A. Douglas, who is a new indie author with his debut book right here, The Black Crown. And he sent this to me not that long ago, and he has some really cool packaging with it as well, where I think it said on the side of it, said, "Beware of orcs," because we have an orc right here on the front cover. And I actually covered this a while ago in my very first Indieverse episode. You know, I was talking about this amazing looking cover that just pops. It looks really cool. Thank you again, John A. Douglas, for sending me this copy. I am looking forward to it, my man. Well, the next book is going to come from an indie author, being Chris Ritchie, who sent me Small Town Problems. I actually did a full video review on this book right here, and I really enjoyed it, and I'd highly recommend it to anybody who's looking for a sci-fi, friendship-based story that's not that long at all. I mean, I think it's a novella, so only 170 pages. Thank you again, Chris Ritchie, for sending me this copy. I really enjoyed the story, and I recommend it for everyone else to go check it out. So, Small Town Problems, book number 12, 13? I don't know. All right, the next book I actually got for Christmas, with that being Snow Crash. This is the Easton Press edition of Snow Crash, and this has this really cool leather-bound edition right here that has this glistening kind of emblems here. They're like all techno-y. We have the cool dual swords here on the front cover, and also the sides have like this gold appearance to it as well that just shines. Looks really good on the shelf. And here's the back side of it, Snow Crash by Neil Stevenson. And also we have this really cool image here in the very beginning. We have this really cool picture right here, this really cool illustration in the very beginning. So this is just a story that I really enjoyed. Again, cyberpunk. I'm a huge fan of the cyberpunk genre, so I was really happy to get this Easton Press edition of Snow Crash, which is one of the essential cyberpunk reads. All right, let's do another unboxing of a broken binding. And this box was definitely beaten up here. As you can see, we have a little bit of damage here. The backside here is actually ripped open. So you can kind of see that it's ripped open right here. So hopefully the book inside is okay. I mean, looking at the packaging of the previous books from them, it should be fine. So let's check it out and see what's inside this box here. And, alright. The Crimson Campaign, which is book number 2 in the Powder Mage series. So, we actually did get a little bit of damage here on the book itself. You can kind of see a indentation right here. You see that at all? The book, it got hit. We got a man down here, but you know what? Looking inside of it, wow, even the indentation made it, you can barely see it. It's like imperceptible, but it's right there. It's raised. So something freaking pierced that box hard enough to go all the way to the page. Wow. That's crazy. But you know what? The words are still in the book. Yeah, the words are still here, so I can still read it. It still looks freaking amazing on the outside. We still have the amazing spread edges right here. And we have this guy holding a big old flag on a horse that's raised in the air. Look at the artwork as well inside. I mean, there's just more stunning artwork again. Yeah, looks fantastic. And more amazing artwork on the outside of the actual hardcover as well. And that is next book, The Crimson Campaign. I mean, we got a little bit of damage here, but it's not that bad, right? No, it's okay, right? Yeah. Actually, the next 2 books are going to come from an author who was the very first person to ever send me a book in the mail, and I can't thank you enough, with that being Timothy Wolf with his Legacy of Bolum series, with Platinum Tinted Darkness right here and Tears of the Maelstrom. Both books that look freaking amazing. And Timothy, I can't thank you enough as well for being a Patreon member on my channel. It means a lot, and I can't wait to read your books as well. starting with, of course, Platinum Tinted Darkness. I'm going to start this one off here very soon, and I'm excited to read these for sure. So thank you again, Timothy, for sending these books. I also really like cover number 3 that came out, or was revealed not too long ago. I think it looks very ominous and concerning, and I'm excited. All right, the next few books I'm kind of grouping together because they are all a part of the Break-Ins group, with that being a few indie authors that are all releasing books around the same time that all look fantastic. There's a few of them in here, so let's take a quick look at each of these. The first 2 here are from ZsDiamanti, being a Stone and Sky series, which look awesome, look epic. I even covered this one right here on my latest Indieverse episode, and I'm really excited to dive into these for sure. I'm actually excited to dive into all the Break-Ins books because they all look right up my alley. So thank you again, guys, for sending me these copies of these books to review here in the future. With the next one being Harbinger of Justice by Andrew Watson, who also has a YouTube channel that you can go check out after this as well. I actually covered this one on the latest Indieverse episode as well, not that long ago. And these are 2 books in the Flux Catastrophe series by Jonathan Weiss, possibly, being Blazing Flux and Molten Flux. And I like the word flux. It just reminds me of Back to the Future. So these covers look really cool as well. They look up my alley for sure. So thank you again, Jonathan, for sending me these copies of these editions. They look great, and I am happy to get started in these here very soon. The next book is going to be The Elements of Time by Sam Paisley, The Winds of Change. So this is a series, this is a cover that looks absolutely insane. We have a lot going on here. This is another book that I actually covered on my latest Indieverse episode as well, because it came out not that long ago at all. But we have some crazy stuff going on here. We have this guy hovering in the background, kind of having all this energy around him, some huge dome around all of them, with something attacking it from the side here, which looks really cool, and these 2 guys that are charging up to attack him with elements. So thank you again, Sam, for sending me this copy. It's actually a huge book. This is a chunky one. Almost 600 pages, so that's a big one. All right, the Break-Ins author that reached out to me with their book is going to be The Forsaken Planet by Brian Wilson. And this is one that I've already read, and I really enjoyed it. I even made a huge review on it on my blog that you can check out later. But this is one that I'm excited to read. The sequel, which comes out, I think, in March. Yeah, March next month. So very excited. So yeah, very excited to read the sequel in the series because I had a great time in book number 1. So thank you again, Brian, for sending this my way. With the Break-Ins author that I have right now in my hands, it's going to be from Rob Lee, with that being Pathlighter. And this is actually a book that I covered in my very first Indieverse episode, and I'm really glad I did because it just looks freaking amazing. We have this amazing looking cover. We have this crazy looking creature back here at the bottom doing a Spider-Man pose. We have these guys wielding fire, holding swords, and this person looks like she's holding like electricity or lightning or something. So I've heard great things. I know the Beard of Darkness booktube channel loves this book and can't recommend it enough. So I am excited to get into this one as well. So thank you again, Rob, for sending this my way. Hey, is this dangerous? Can you see this? Can you see all those books over there? I don't know if you can. But is that dangerous? It looks kind of unstable. So hopefully it's okay. And hopefully I'm still in frame. And the next book should be maybe another broken binding, with this one being 1 out of 4 left. So let's check it out and see what we have in this box. Any guesses now? Alright, this is going to be The Will of the Many by James Islington. And I absolutely had to buy this edition of this book when I saw it from the Broken Binding team, because this is one of my favorite reads of 2023 for sure. So when I saw this edition, this looks like a freaking painting. The artwork is fantastic. The quote on the back is very cool as well. And I love how it represents like the very first scene that you see in the book when you start reading it. Also inside, the interior art looks amazing as well. We have a very classic scene from the book as well. This huge arena scene that was so freaking amazing to read. Also, the straight edges look really cool. We have the pillar, which is kind of a homage to the actual original cover that you might be able to see right back here. So let's look at the in illustration real quick too. Oh, yeah, there is the labyrinth which plays a very pivotal scene in the book as well. And, whoa, look at that. That looks freaking cool. We have a red edition of like the actual normal cover, or the standard edition that you would buy like hardcover. And we have these nice foil ends here on the front and back of the book. All right, the next book is one that I bought because I needed to figure out how the series is going to end, with that being the Trials of Empire by Richard Swan. And I actually just had an interview with Richard a couple days ago. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about Richard and his writing style and his inspirations and about certain characters within the first book, maybe go check out that interview after this. But this is book number 3. I really wanted to see how this trilogy ends, and as you can see, I'm reading it right now. I'm only a few chapters into it, but I should be finishing this here pretty soon before the end of February. So that is the Trials of Empire in the Empire of the Wolf series. All right, the next book is going to come from an indie author named S.A. Ernster, with that being DieRock88. And I actually covered this book on an Indieverse episode a few months ago, but this is actually the hardcover edition of that book, which I just cannot get enough of this cover right here. It just looks super cool. We have this guy holding not a lightsaber, but something that kind of resembles lightsaber, this green glowing stick sword thing that we do see in the story as well. But thank you again, S.A. Ernster, for sending me this edition of the book, because I just really enjoyed it. I also read this book. I finished it like a couple days ago, and I had a blast. So I'm going to write a full-on review for this here pretty soon, so be on the lookout for that. But this is one that I would definitely recommend for you to go check out. Now, that being DieRock88, thank you again. I think this is book number 26, if I counted correctly. If not, I owe you one. Another broken binding box. Let's open it up and see what we got inside. The Autumn Republic. Book number 3 in the Powder Mage trilogy. Yeah, this one looks stunning as well. Again, we have some more of those amazing looking sprayed edges. We have some very cool looking interior artwork as well. Look at that person like spreading fire with her hand, that looks like. That looks crazy. And again, that artwork on the actual hardcover itself looks stunning. Man, like when you get these books, like how do you decide what you want to display? Because it all looks freaking amazing. I am excited to read the Powder Mage trilogy, absolutely, especially with these amazing broken binding editions here. So, book number 27, maybe. Actually, the next 2 books are not from the author, but actually from a different author who's just so excited for more people to read these books. And that was by John A. Douglas, who wrote The Black Crown. He sent me these 2 books because he just loves them that much, with that being Lord of the Shattered Land and The City of Marble and Blood. Both of these are Bane Books by Howard Andrew Jones, and I've actually seen these covers before John A. Douglas sent them to me, and I've just heard so many amazing things about these 2, and I'm very looking forward to reading these 2 absolutely here. And I think John also mentioned that he wants these to be on top of my TBR, so I'm going to try my best to do that, John. And thank you again for sending these my way. I am very excited to read these by Howard Andrew Jones, Lord of a Shattered Land. I mean, look at that crazy looking cover here. All right, we have 2 more broken binding boxes, and that's going to conclude this unboxing, this book haul here. So let's see what's inside this box. With that being the Dragon of Jin Saying. By K.S. Villoso. K.S. Villoso. K.S. Villoso, which has a very intimidating looking cover here. Book number 3 in this series, and the end papers as well look very cool and very ominous. And again, some really cool foil work on the sides here. Looks fantastic. And it's going to look mighty good here on the shelf with all 3 of these sprayed edges lined up against each other. So that is the Dragon of Jin Saying. Alright, this is the last book in the unboxing book haul right here. So hopefully we end off on a good one. But with it being broken binding, we're pretty in good hands right now, so let's take a look. Ooh, Northern Wraith by Tildy Cold Holt, right? Hopefully I'm saying that right now. I don't know. But we have more of the tree right here. So it looks like we have the left side. So this might be book number 1 in this series being, part 1 of the Hanged God trilogy. And again, more amazing interior artwork here. If you can see that, we have just an amazing piece right here depicting some sort of scene in the book, most likely. And the end scene right here looks like it was a picture taken out of a movie, so that is pretty cool. Also, the front cover, I didn't even talk about that, looks really cool as well. We have this guy that looks like he's just battling for his life right there. So, Northern Wraith looks fantastic, and that's it. That is the last book that I'm going to cover today. I did not talk about all the books I received, but I think we're at least book number 30 in this list. So thank you so much to everybody who has sent me a book. I can't say thank you enough. I really appreciate everyone sending me their precious works. It means a lot you've even sent it to me in the first place, so I'm excited to read all these books. So thank you again for sticking around this long. You've earned 1 XP token, and if you're already a subscriber, you get an extra XP token, so here you go. And before we go, let me know down below if you've read in these books and which ones you think I should read first. So have a good one. Keep reading. Peace.